A little bit more of a swashbucklery guy, less of a Brooklyn accent kind of guy. We've got Rogue, the Southern X-Man who, like me, is from Mississippi. Hi, I'm Glenn Simpson, and I've collected comics for over 40 years, and I'm showing off my collection one box at a time. Today we're looking at box number 126. We're going to continue to make our way through the Robin section, and then we will get into some Robocop, some Rocky Horror, some Roger Zelazny, maybe a name you're not familiar with, but then we will find ourselves into Rogue. So it's going to be a good time. Please like, comment, subscribe, all good things for the channel. Let me know if there's anything inside these packs you'd like to see. But hey, let's get going here on Glenn Simpson's Comics. Alright, picking up where we left off last time, we're at Robin's first solo, the second Robin solo series, first ongoing. We've got issue 33, Legacy crossover going on. And the series is a pretty long series, and of course, but it's not really full of a lot of hot issues or anything. So my packs are usually 8 to a pack, so we won't see every single one. So it shouldn't go, should go by pretty quick. But as always, if there's anything, if you wanted to see every issue, by golly, you just comment and we will make that happen. But anyway, we'll go back to issue 1 and do the whole thing. But anyway, issue 33, or just enjoy the highlights, right? Issue 40, there, Tim's girlfriend. She's probably just upset about what she's going to find out about him later. Issue 41, there, through issue 48, from that month when all of the covers kind of look like that, with the main character in deep close-up. '49, I quit. You can take this job and shove it. I'm back. 56. Forgot how much spoiler was in here, actually. 57. Date night. There. 64. Teaming up with the Flash. 65. Jason Pearson. I believe this is Spoiler's baby that she had with a different fellow. '72. We're in no man's land post Gotham earthquake. There. 73. This is also a very long time that his costume hadn't changed. Note. 73. Nobody could find Tim Drake because he was busy being Robin. 80. There. 81. Detectiving. Through 88. Some of these covers were kind of funny that Pete Woods did on these. Eep. 89. Okay, doesn't count as a new costume. That's, you know, his winter clothes. 96. 97, from that month when every cover had the name of the title spelled out in some odd way. So that's your ROBIN there. Through issue 100. There. Issue 101. This is, I think, tied in with some Young Justice stuff, which he was appearing in at the same time. 108. Forget the name of this cover artist, but going up against Killer Moth. 109. There. Through 116. It's a cube. 117. No escape. 120. Is he choking out Alfred? Okay. No, maybe not. Anyway. 121. We got Bill Willingham coming in. Jason Pearson doing some covers. 125. Still. Wait. I may have been saying that some Jason Pearson covers were Mike Golden in a previous video. Oops. Maybe not. 126. So Tim quits and Stephanie Brown becomes the new Robin for about 5 minutes. So Bill Willingham doing the writing on that still. 127. There. Damian Scott. Is that the name of the first name of Scott there? Can't remember. 132. Stephanie's out. Tim's back. Cassandra. 133. There. Through 136. Not looking good. For old Timster. 137. Black Death rides a black horse. 144. Got some Scott McDaniel. Got some we're heading into Infinite Crisis here. 145. Shadow Pact. Shadow Pact was like Justice League Dark before Justice League Dark. Blue Devil and some other folks. Magical heroes. 145. 152. We are hearkening once again back to the death of Tim's father at the hands of the original Captain Boomerang. Then trying to make sure I say this right. So this is, I think this was true in the previous, but this is just a little easier to see. So we've had Infinite Crisis. We've had 1 year later, where all the books skip forward a year. Robin's got his sort of more red costume, and he is going up against Captain Boomerang Jr., the son of the original, who, although it looks like they're teaming up here. He has, weirdly, he has both super speed and the boomerang thing going on. Got issue 160 there. Got 161. Hi there. She can carry me on her shoulders any day. And the resurrection of Ra's al Ghul. I forgot he died. We've got some Tim versus Damien action going on. They never have quite gotten along. Issue 169. I think it was something like there was an assistant to Ra's al Ghul, and the assistant was trying to bring Ra's back, and then Ra's winds up coming back, but he takes over the body of the assistant, which was not the assistant's plan, something like that. 169. 176. We get into we're into Batman R.I.P. So Batman, he dies in Final Crisis, but he also dies in the Grant Morrison run roughly around the same time. So the Batman R.I.P. was kind of trying to reconcile all that. But he, you know, at the end of it, he's dead, or so they think. Spoilers, Secret, 176. 177. Who's Red Robin? I can't remember who Red Robin is, but it's not Tim yet. Right there. Through 183. Final issue. Last rites. Batman's dead, or so they think. And so this will lead into the Red Robin series that we actually looked at in the previous box. Then along the way, he had a 1 million issue featuring Robin the Toy Wonder from the 853rd century. Cool little guy. And he had some annuals, and these start with 3 because this is, you know, the ones that came out after that series started. Issue 3, the Elseworlds, where just the characters are put into a different setting. So clearly the Japanese samurai kind of period. We have issue 5, Legends of the Dead Earth, where in the distant future somebody becomes Robin, you know, similar to you know, somebody in all the other Legends of the Dead Earth, you know, somebody becomes this hero that they barely even heard of because it's been so long. Issue 6, Pulp Heroes. Mainly, you know, I didn't find the stories to be that different, but they, you know, this is the throwback is to the old pulp magazines, and what made those pulp magazines so cool was those painted covers. So that's what all the annuals have. for that month. And annual 7. There it goes, right there. And the next Robin series features Damian Wayne, and you know, it's kind of an Enter the Dragon sort of thing. He finds himself, he's left Batman to go, you know, find himself, and the fact that he's way too young to be out roaming the world is neither here nor there, but he goes to a island where they are hosting an Enter the Dragon style fight. The greatest fighters in the world all fighting for a prize, that kind of thing. Issue 1 sounds a little like KO. Through issue 4, goes and hangs out with his grandpa, Grampy, Opa. Issue 5 there. I should say, by the way, I seem to remember Ra's al Ghul was given a lot of personality in this issue. It's, you know, kind of, he actually had a little bit more of a sense of humor, if I remember right. Issue 5 goes back, hangs out with the Robins for a bit. You know, he's supposed to be like stuck on this island and can't leave, but then of course he does. So anyway, issue 5 through 8. There. Girlfriend, Flatline. Issue 9. Facing the Lazarus Demon. And it finishes up with issue 17. And then during that span, there was an annual. There. Alright, Robin and Batman. So I got this. And, you know, it sort of is trying to tell the story of early Robin and Batman, you know, outages and going out, or, you know, their relationship and whatnot. But it's a little weird on continuity, to the point that I did not bother to get the follow-up. But the biggest thing to me was it has the Teen Titans being formed at a point when the Justice League is already so far along that they're in the satellite and Firestorm's already a member, which would make Dick Grayson like 10 years younger or whatever than Ronnie Raymond. And that's not, to an old school fan like me, that just doesn't make any sense. So I don't think this or its follow-up are considered canon, if you will. I don't think they were referenced in the new history of the DC universe, so they're just a fun little tale. Issue 1 through issue 3. As I was looking at this, I was also thinking, you know, it's like Batman never gets hurt and has to be rescued until he takes on Robin. So obviously, if he didn't take on Robin, he wouldn't ever get hurt, right? But that's the same kind of logic they use when they say, you know, there were no crazy villains in Gotham before Batman came along. There. So anyway, back to Tim. Robin and Argent one-shot. So the Teen Titans series had come out featuring, this was the second Teen Titans series that had, you know, none of the originals in it. It was four individuals who had gotten powers from some kind of alien genetic thing, and so then other characters had these double shots where they teamed up with one of the members of the Teen Titans, and this is of course a throwback to a classic pinup of Batman and Robin with Argent standing in for the Batman figure there. We've got Robin had an 80th anniversary special. Right there. One shot, 100-page. Had an 80-page giant with spoiler and such. Monkey. Had a couple of plus issues. Robin plus Impulse. Just a special one-shot. Mark Waid. And Robin plus Fang. Oh, so similar to what the thing with the Titans, this was the Scare Tactics series. So each member of Scare Tactics appeared in a one-shot with a more established character as well. Ron Brereton cover there. So Robin Rises. What was the name of the storyline? I forget the name of the storyline, but Robin died. He died. And, but you know what? He came back. He rose. And so here we have Robin Rises Alpha, where he is telling that story. So issue 1 through then Robin Rises Omega, also number 1, but Omega. It's another number 1, but it's Omega. Then Robins. So they had a contest. You could like go online and vote. They had a bunch of pitches for different stories that they could publish, and fans could vote on which ones it was like an elimination grid kind of thing. And Robins was the winner of the contest. And it's basically a story, where all of them kind of team up. Issue 1, we find out there was a previous person who had been almost a Robin or something like that, and so she is mad because she didn't get to be a Robin or something like that. We get to Robin, son of Batman. So this is a previous Damian Wayne series relative to that other Robin series. Samson, I think, is the name of the large, he's got bat wings, but he's also got arms. Critter, that is his pet, and he is off out in the world. Issue 1. We've got a variant for issue 4. It's the Green Lantern 75th anniversary variants they did, as I mentioned not long ago in a video. Discount Comic Book Service was doing a thing at one point where if you got all of the variants that were in a theme as a bundle, they were cheaper. So it was cheaper for me to get the variants of those. So issue 4. Issue 5 in this Monsters of the Month variant. There. Through issue 13. There you go. It's the final issue of that. We have this Robin spoiler special. Just kind of get just a one shot. Also another throwback to that pinup after Infantino. This time Robin's in the Batman pose and spoilers in the Robin pose. You may have been asking, where's the second Robin miniseries? Well, you know what? It's Robin 2, and following the Overstreet process for or system for alphabetizing numbers. That makes this, well, which, although I can say I'm not very consistent with sometimes. So it's not Robin II, it's Robin 2, which means it's alphabetized as Robin TWO. So there you go. So that's why Robin T is where we are where we are. I say that, but hang on. It ends up here because of the Robin T, but then we're doing 2. So this was a Robin versus the Joker, and each issue had this hologram sticker on it. And there were lots of variants. Early version, early thing with, you know, where a book has like 4 or 5 different variants. Through issue 4 of that Outtro burrito cover. Now that said, technically, alphabetically speaking, 3 THRE comes before TWO, but okay, I cheated on that, you know. So 2 and 3. I got them here together, but you know, I put the 2 before the 3. Issue 1, right there. This is the Cry of the Huntress. So the Huntress is guest starring. And through issue 6, right there. Then we have Robin 3000. So kind of a future, and this guy kind of just becomes Robin, starts calling himself Robin something. I found out later that, so there used to be a line of books called the Tom Swift novels, which were in the same vein as the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew from that same time frame. But Tom Swift was more of a technological, he would have like inventions and gadgets and things. But so this was originally going to be a Tom Swift miniseries, and whoever, you know, nobody would buy it or something. So he just changed the name to Robin and was able to sell it to DC. So Robin 3000 book 1, Robin 3000 book 2. There. Then we've got Robin War, Court of Owls. There was also the Robin gang, or Gang of Robins, or whatever, bunch of kind of a street gang with the best of intentions, who called themselves We Are Robin. That's the name of the book anyway. And so there's a big war amongst Robins. Look at the We Are Robin. Let's see, We Are Robins versus Talons. So there you go. And got Robin Year 1, part of the so we've got Robin Year 1 and Batgirl Year 1, that were also attempting to tell the story of the earliest days of the Batman and Robin relationship. I think this one, well, I may have fallen out as well of continuity, but also still a good read anyway. Issue 1, through issue 4. There. Hang on. There you go. You don't have to stay up at night wondering when I was going to tape that down. All right. But that brings us to the end of Robin. Next we have Robocop. So Robocop was a movie from the 1980s. A corporation is trying to build the next generation of law enforcement. They try to do a robot, and the robots aren't able to think properly, to make the right decisions. So they come up with this idea to take make a man into a cyborg to get the human intuition added to the offensive guns and stuff, and they wind up taking an almost dead cop and turning him into this, but wiping his memory so he doesn't remember who he is, and he winds up striking back at the people because he didn't give them permission to do that, and whatnot. So that's a terrible description of the movie Robocop. It is a lot going on there. But anyway, issue 1 of the comic book series that continues the adventures from the movie. Issue 1 through issue 8. There, a lot more in the way of flying vehicles and things that the budget of the movie wouldn't have allowed for. Issue 9. There, dude in a mask. Also not something that probably would have shown up in the movie. Too superhero-y. Issue 16. There. Issue 17. Lewis is his partner. Through issue 23. Robocop was a big deal in comics there for a while. As well, I don't have by any means all of the various Robocop comics, but in addition to that main series, so Dark Horse took over from Marvel at some point, and we have Robocop Prime Suspect. Robocop gets, I guess, blamed for a murder he didn't commit. Through issue 4. There. And then, two great tastes that taste great together. Robocop versus Terminator, with art by Walt Simonson. You can see where this is going. The technology that created, underlying Robocop is going to get eventually evolved to become what's used in the Terminators, and but I don't know why they're not getting along for that reason. But anyway, issue 1. Issue 2, which is a little pricier. Oh, Frank Miller is writing, by the way. Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight Returns, Daredevil, that Frank Miller. Issue 3. And issue 4. Go. Alright. Then, hold on to your hat, we have Rocket Raccoon. This is the 3rd appearance of Rocket Raccoon and his first solo series. The character from Guardians of the Galaxy. A little bit more of a swashbucklery guy, less of a Brooklyn accent kind of guy here, but a little less angsty. But we find out some more about the origin, different origin than in the movie. He and his other altered animals are on a planet that is basically an insane asylum, and they are like they didn't have service animals back in the day when this was written, but that would be what we would call them today. And then they evolved and left and things and stuff. So anyway, issue 1. Issue 2. There. Things getting crazy. 3. First cover appearance of the, you know, the ferret friend there. And issue 4. That. So then we've got a, just started picking this up recently. One of the more newer Rocket Raccoon series from way after Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, has become popular. Scotty Young, Duncan Rouleau, I think. Issue 1 and 2. Scotty Young covers. I think this is Scotty Young art as well inside. I don't have 3. Gotta work on that. Got issue 4. So I don't think it's Duncan Rouleau. I think that's Bulio, maybe the colorist. Issue 4 through issue 11. There you go. So then, completely different, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So there had been somebody wrote a screenplay or a stage production. A guy named Richard O'Brien, in fact, wrote a stage production called the Rocky Horror Show, and it played in New York and became very popular. It was very scandalous, very risque, and so then it got made into a movie, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and it was one of those things where, you know, it didn't make a lot of money on the first run, but it became a cult favorite. I think it's the definition, I think, of a cult favorite. Gets played. There's some places that would play it every Saturday night. Some places that it was a tradition to play it. Like where I went to college, they would show it on the drill field on a big screen every Halloween. And we would all go. It's a musical. And people, for those of you who are just totally oblivious to this, it has lots of songs, so people, you know, sing along with it. People dress up as the characters, and then there's this whole sort of shouting back at the screen thing, where, you know, in between the people, the lines of the movie, people say things in unison. That make make what they're saying even funnier, if you will. So, and then, you know, at some point, Caliber made a comic book of it. So, Rocky Horror Picture Show, the comic book. Issue 1, photo cover from the movie. And number 3, photo cover from the movie. Right there. And now for something completely different. So then we have Roger Zelazny's 9 Princes in Amber. So there's, this is actually an adaptation of a novel, and Roger Zelazny's Amber series is a top-notch line of fantasy novels. The premise is that there is a real dimension, a real world called Amber, and it has people who live there. And then from there are reflections of Amber, and the further out you get, the more it changes and becomes, you know, like a copy of a copy of a copy. And you know, our world is a distant copy of Amber, but an imperfect one. And the Amber has these lords and princes that live there, and one of them is killed, and Corwin is another one of them, and he has to find out. I think actually he gets blamed for it, and so he's on the run looking for the true killer. So this is a very painted-y adaptation, 3-issue adaptation of the first book, 9 Princes in Amber. highly recommend the novels for those of you who, still read books. Issue 3 right there. And then the sequel was Amber, the Guns of Avalon. So this is all filed under Roger. Amber, the Guns of Avalon. Not a lot of consistency with the artwork here and the characters, but... And that runs through. There's issue 3. That was all, unfortunately, the only adaptations they did. There's like 7 or 8 books in the first round and another 6 or 7 books in the second round, something like that. All right, then we get into getting back more into standard comic book stuff. We've got Rogue, the Southern X-Man, who, like me, is from Mississippi. And she is a mutant with the power to absorb the powers and memories of people she touches, but unfortunately she can't control it, she can't turn it off, so she can't touch anybody. For a big period of time, she starts off as a villain, then she comes to the X-Men to get help with her uncontrolled powers, and becomes an X-Man. She had accidentally gone too far when absorbing the powers and memories of Carol Danvers, Ms. Marvel, and wound up, totally taking them away from Carol Danvers. And so took a while for Carol Danvers to get her powers back. But meanwhile, Rogue still retained them. So in addition to, having that whole absorbing the powers thing, she could also fly and was strong and was durable, that kind of thing. So, and she got her first miniseries here, and that's issue 1, cover by Mike Wieringo, rest in peace, through issue 4. I believe this was when she was younger, very young, she kissed her first boy, and unfortunately she put him in a coma, but he recovered, and grew up, but I think this is him. But anyway, issue 4 there. And then a few years later, she gets another, in 2001, gets another miniseries during this period when we were doing these Icons miniseries. Rogue number 1, painted cover, pretty cool, through issue 4, looking a bit more like the Anna Paquin, at least on the cover, the Anna Paquin from the first X-Men movies. But that is where we leave off for this box. Okay, so that was box 126. Next time we'll do box 127. We will do some more Rogue. We will look at ROM. We will do all of the Runaways. And then we'll get into the S's, getting to a lot of Saga of. So thanks so much for being here. Hope to see you next time. And hey, have a great day.